A celebrity DJ is gunned down in what looks like a professional hit. But when investigators start digging, they find something unbelievable. The gun that killed him, it's been used before. And before that. It's a single thread that connects a whole string of murders, pointing to a massive criminal conspiracy. Today, we're pulling on that thread.
It really does all come down to this one chilling piece of evidence. One AK-47 assault rifle. Police forensics have managed to link this exact weapon to a whole series of high-profile murders across South Africa. Think about that. It's the key that's starting to unlock a much bigger and honestly a much scarier story.
So how can one single gun be the key to all this? Well, here's the thing. This story isn't just about a gun. It's about the professional hitmen who use it, the powerful people they target, and the violent, shadowy underworld that connects them all.
Okay, to really get our heads around the scale of this, we have to start with the name everyone knows, the most prominent victim, the beloved musician and entrepreneur, DJ Sumbody. His death is what blew this whole thing wide open and put it in the national spotlight.
The attack itself was just vicious and brutally professional. He was on his way from a gig when his car was ambushed, just riddled with bullets. I mean, the sheer violence of it. A hail of bullets in a public space sent absolute shockwaves through the country. It was obvious this was no random crime. This was a targeted execution, a message. But to really understand the impact of his murder, you have to look past the stage name. We need to talk about the man himself, Oupa John Sefoka. His story is just incredible, one of pure, relentless ambition and amazing success. You see, he wasn't just a DJ spinning hit records. He was creating them. But he was so much more than that. He was a radio host, a record label owner who was actually building up new talent, and a really sharp businessman who co-founded the famous Yap Yap lifestyle lounges. He even used his own transport business to fund his early music career. This guy was building a real empire from the ground up.
And that success? It was real. We're talking an estimated net worth of around $1 million when he died. And this wasn't just music money. This was a whole portfolio built on pure hustle, from the DJ booth all the way to the boardroom.
All right, but this is where the story gets really, really dark. Because as investigators started digging into his murder, they realized it wasn't an isolated event. The gun that killed him? Well, it had a history, a very violent one.
So, the ballistics report came back and it was staggering. It confirmed the same AK-47 was first used to kill another musician, DJ Vintlos, back in March 2022. 8 months later, it was used on DJ Sumbody. The next year, it shows up again on a highway hit. And then in 2024, it's used to kill an engineer. And that might have even been a case of mistaken identity. 4 hits, 4 different crime scenes, 1 single gun.
For the police, this connection was the absolute game changer they needed. They managed to identify 4 suspects who, get this, were already in jail for other serious crimes. By tying them to this one specific weapon, investigators could finally connect the dots and link them to this whole string of assassinations. It revealed a terrifying pattern of organized for-hire killings.
So that begs the question, right? How does a group like this operate so effectively? How can they pull off so many brazen hits right out in public? Well, to understand that, we need to go deep inside the dangerous, highly structured world of criminal syndicates.
Now, it is so important to get this straight. We are not talking about simple street gangs here. These are sophisticated criminal enterprises. Think of them more like dark corporations. They have hierarchies, they have codes of conduct, and an intense loyalty that binds them. And what makes them so hard to fight is that they're fluid. They adapt to survive.
You know, the game has really changed. These syndicates have evolved. They've moved way beyond the old turf wars over drugs. Now they're infiltrating legitimate parts of the economy, extorting businesses, getting their hands into the construction industry, tender fraud, you name it. Their connections run deep, which makes them incredibly difficult to root out. So what makes them so dangerous? Well, just look at their playbook. They have easy access to military-grade weapons like AK-47s. As this case shows, they use extreme violence without even a second thought. And by using anonymous hired guns to do their dirty work, the people at the top can stay in the shadows, controlling these networks that stretch across the country
and sometimes even the world.
So as this whole thing heads to court, DJ Somebody's family finds itself fighting a battle on two fronts. One is for justice for his murder, of course, and the other is to protect his name and his legacy from the inevitable smear campaigns that are coming.
You can hear it right there from the family's own forensic investigator. They're pushing back hard against any hint that DJ Sumbody was involved in the same underworld that took his life. They know that when you go up against these powerful syndicates, the first thing they try to do is drag the victim's name through the mud. They maintain he was all about his community, and they're ready for that fight.
The legal battle ahead is, well, it's painstaking work. You have a specialized police task team that has to piece together every single bit of evidence from 4 different crime scenes. It's like a giant high-stakes puzzle. The next critical step is for the state to consolidate all 4 of these murder cases into one big, complex trial against the accused, which is now scheduled to move forward later this year.
And that leaves us with one final, really provocative question. Look, arresting 4 guys and linking them to a single gun is a massive breakthrough. But is it enough? Can this one case, the pursuit of justice for one man, actually unravel the huge, sophisticated criminal network that he fell victim to? For now, that is the big, unanswered question at the heart of this entire tragedy.